friends, welcome back. So glad you're here for social studies, where we're going to take a deep dive into a political advertisement. And as we look at this advertisement, we're really going to analyze the candidate, okay? Now this is a reading test, even though it's social studies, but it's not going to be your typical reading. But friends, let's dive right in and get started. Okay, so the first thing that I really like to do here is take a look at what's going on. Let's just take a little read, see what this political advertisement is for. So it says here, vote for experience, vote for progress, vote for Sylvia Flores, candidate for state senator from the 15th district, 47-year-old realtor and civic activist, legislative aide to State Senator Brown for the last 4 years, endorsed by the AFL-CIO, teacher organizations, and the Board of Realtors. And her supports the completion of the Metro Rail system, more highway funding, and better pay for teachers. Hey, I'm a teacher. I'm always in support of better pay for teachers. Okay, now let's dive into the questions and do our best to answer. Question number 9. Which of the following statements is most strongly supported by the information in the post? So Flores is a member of a union. Does it say anywhere here, or can we imply a union? No, not really. I mean, she's a realtor, but typically realtors are not in a union because they're commission-based, right? Flores is strongly interested in public affairs. Now we can really think that because look at all that she's supporting down here, right? The completion of the Metro Rail, highway funding, better pay for teachers, and really even looking at who she's endorsed by, that really does show that she's interested in public affairs. But let's look at the other ones. She's an advocate of lower property taxes. Does it say anywhere here or imply anywhere here that she's interested in lowering taxes? No, it doesn't, right? Flores has received endorsements from retiring Senator Brown. Does it indicate that he has endorsed her? No, it says legislative aide to Senator Brown for the last 4 years, but it does not indicate that he has endorsed her or given her his stamp of approval, right? So that leaves us with B here. Flores is strongly interested in public affairs. Question 10. Most of the statements describing Flores can be classified as facts. Definitely a lot of facts in here, right? She's 47, realtor, she's a civic activist, here's what she supports, here's what she's endorsed by. She was a legislative aide. A lot of facts in here. Opinions. Are there any opinions in here? Not really. Predictions? Are we predicting what's going to happen? No, not really. Value judgments. Well, I mean, a little bit. We can tell what she values, but not really, right? So that leaves us with A here for our answer. Question 11. Which of the following activities would have contributed least to Flores being called a civic activist? Okay, her work for a parent-teacher association. That's volunteering, right? That's caring about those kids, so no. Her service on the city council, right? That is really showing that she's a civic activist. Her efforts to raise money to remodel the city library. Thank you, Flores. Thank you, Sylvia. Or her ownership of a real estate business. Her ownership of the business really shows that she is, she's making money. That's her living. That's not necessarily her giving away her time, right? Or her giving away her resources. But let's really just think about what is civic activist. So civic is really going to be, you could sort of think about civic being community and thinking about what is good for our society. And so if she's a civic activist, she's really thinking about how can she contribute to our society, to our community. 12. Which of the following might a voter most expect if Flores is elected? She will probably support right-to-work laws. Now, right to work is basically giving an opportunity to anyone, right? Anyone can get this position, right? Does it really talk about anything like that? Not really, right? So that's not going to be our answer. She will probably be appointed to the same Senate committees to which Senator Brown had been appointed. Well, not necessarily, right? She is a civic activist, maybe in a different way that Senator Brown was, right? She's a realtor. She is on the Parent-Teacher Association probably, right? Was Senator Brown? We don't know, right? All we know is that she was a legislative aide for Senator Brown. So probably not. C, she will probably support increased state spending for the public schools. Now let's think about it. Here it says that she is endorsed by teacher organizations, right? So teacher organizations probably really like her. And then also better pay for teachers. Again, that's also indicating if she wants better pay for teachers, well, where do we get the money? By increasing the state spending for public schools. So it's probably the answer, but let's look at D. She will probably oppose an increase in the state gasoline tax. It's very irrelevant. We know nothing about that based on this flyer. So the answer is C. She will probably support increased state spending for public schools. Thank you, Sylvia, for supporting public schools. Okay, question 13. Flores apparently believes that her association with Senator Brown will be regarded as a professional embarrassment. If it's a professional embarrassment, why would she put it on this flyer? She wouldn't, right? She's probably really proud that she helped as a legislative aide. A political asset. Think about it. If they like Senator Brown and what he did for our state, then maybe they'll like Sylvia Flores, right? Okay, C, strong rivalry. They're competing against each other. Are they? Why would she put that she helped him if they're a strong rivalry and competing against each other? A minor aspect of her experience. If it was so minor and not important, they wouldn't put it on this flyer, right? So our answer is B. Okay, friends, I hope that you did well. I hope that you answered the questions before I answered, and definitely just do your best. Practicing reading questions like this for the social studies test is very important. It's a little bit different than reading a full paragraph or reading a map or something like that, but this definitely falls under that civics and government portion of the social studies test. Okay, friends, believe in yourself. I believe in you, and just study. I know you've got this. Okay, peace. God bless.